All right. So, welcome to this artificial intelligence keynote, and this is the first crash course that I'm giving at the Open Digital University, and I thought it would be a good foundational course because AI is everywhere today, and it's important to have a solid understanding of AI and also how you can use AI in your career, in your business. So this is the AI keynote that I first gave at Concordia University about 5 years ago, over 5 years ago, and the purpose of this keynote was to sensitize people. First of all, to explain what AI really is, because these days you hear a lot about AI in the news and the business press, but nobody really explains what AI really is. So I'm really going deep, but not too deep. It's not going to be a very technical presentation, but I just want to explain what AI really is, its capabilities, and at the end, I'm going to propose three solutions that you can explore in order to prepare for the artificial intelligence driven economy. So, the first objective today is to have a strategic understanding of AI, and I explain it by using the analogy of two buildings. And most people, the successful people, are going to work in one of these two buildings. And the second objective is to formulate a strategic response to this major opportunity or threat, depending on your level of preparation. So this is my background. Just gonna go over it quickly. For the last 5 years, I've been a teacher at Taft College, teaching these three courses, and I've also been a part-time software developer, inventing an AI programming method for developing what I call an organic expert system. An organic expert system is basically like the expert systems that emerged in the 1980s, except that it's organic. Organic in the sense that it's learning and it's being fed information, knowledge, architectures all the time. So I'm going to talk more about that new program called DRC, which I'm using in order to develop these organic expert systems. So, artificial intelligence, what is it? Well, DARPA, the defense agency of the United States, I think they invented the internet. They define it as the programmed ability to process information. Okay, so we human beings have the ability to process information, but it's not programmed, and therefore, we don't process information very quickly or even very efficiently. And by the way, this is why Elon Musk has created the company Neuralink, but I'm not sure that Neuralink will help people to process information quickly. It's going to help people to access information quickly for sure, but processing is where the value is created. Another definition of artificial intelligence, and by the way, Shane Legg, one of the co-founders of DeepMind, I think he did his PhD on the definition of AI, and he came up with 200 different definitions. So we're going to simplify, and we're going to define AI as a system that can think rationally, or that can think like human beings, or that can act rationally. So this is more like a conscious agent, or that can act like human beings. So, the Optimus robot by Tesla is probably going to be able to act like human beings in certain situations. For example, it's going to be able to do the work that a human worker is doing. So you have four different. I'm not sure if these are four mutually exclusive definitions, but I think so. I think that these four different definitions of AI, they cover pretty much the whole spectrum of definitions of artificial intelligence. So it can think rationally, it can think like us, it can act rationally, or it can act like us. And the difference between rationally and humanly is that sometimes we humans, we do things based on emotions and impulsivity, and we're not very rational. So rationality implies that it's a little bit like a game of chess. You do exactly the you do it the right way as dictated by logic. So we have to understand that this is what AI really is. And once we have this understanding, then we can explore like who can benefit from AI and who's going to lose, because for sure there's going to be a lot of losers in the AI economy. But hopefully, because you're watching this presentation, I think that you have a chance of being among the winners. And what's happening with AI, because of its exponential nature, is that if you're a winner, you probably will be a big time winner. So it's going to be an economy where the winner takes all. So, and the losers are going to keep losing more and more because they don't have this powerful weapon, this powerful tool that we call AI. So the winners are those who learn to create or work with AI in order to create and deliver more value. Sometimes like 10 times more value, so an order of magnitude more value for the clients or employers. So basically I'm saying that the people who will win are the people, your job is not going to be eliminated by AI. It's going to be eliminated by human beings who use AI in order to be 10 times more productive. So for example, if you have a group of 100 professionals, then probably 10 professionals will retain their job because they learned how to use and integrate AI into their workflow. And the 90 remaining professionals will lose their job because they did not learn how to integrate AI into their workflows. The vast majority of people, including university educated professionals, will tend to wait and wait and wait, and by the time they realize what's happening, they've lost already, and the government has to come in and provide some kind of UBI, which stands for Universal Basic Income, in order to save these professionals. So now is the time to learn about AI. Now, this is what I said 5 years ago. So, I would say that most people are already behind. So you just don't have a lot of time to get up to speed. And I'm particularly interested in reaching out to parents and telling them that the current educational system is way, way, way behind and is not sufficiently preparing their kids, whether it's high school, college, or university. Even Khan Academy, they came up with Khan Migo, which is supposed to be an AI assistant, but I don't think it's teaching kids what they need to know, or even teaching like college age students what they need to know in order to succeed in the new economy. We have online academies like Saylor.com by the billionaire Michael Saylor, and I recommend that you take a look. But even his courses and his training programs do not integrate AI or computational thinking, and therefore it's a good start, but those online academies are not going to help you. And that's why I created the Open Digital University, where we're going to teach you, we're going to use AI to teach you exactly what you need to know to create value and make money. Because that's, in my mind, the main reason why you're going to college. High school is a different matter. High school is for learning the basics, like reading, writing, memorization, speed reading. And by the way, speed reading and memorization are not taught in high school. This is a huge mistake, and parents have to do something about it. Hire tutors like myself to teach their kids how to memorize and how to read books very quickly. But anyways, high school, everybody has to go through high school, but because it's foundational. But college and university, I think the main reason, because it costs money, right? The main reason why you should go to college or university is so that you can learn marketable skills, practical skills that will make you a more valuable person in the job market. Everything else, all the other knowledge that you might need or that you're learning just in case, don't pay for it. Don't spend time on it, because you can find it on Wikipedia. And by the way, with ChatGPT, you can have access to all the information. So focus on learning skills only. Because guess what? Employers are only paying you because of your skills, because of what you're able to do. Employers don't pay you because you have a nice diploma or because you have knowledge in your head. It doesn't matter. What you know doesn't matter. What you're able to do, that's the only thing that matters. So, anyways, the new economic rules say that you will win in an AI economy if you are faster, if you're better, or if you cost less than the other workers. So really remember that. Like, your priority is every day find ways to be faster, better, and cheaper. Another thing that's important to understand is that work is simply input and processing, and you generate an output, and the output is what the employer is paying you for. The employer doesn't really care how you do your processing. So you can use software, expert systems, artificial intelligence to do your processing. Usually these days for knowledge workers, we're talking about processing information. And here the input is information, but also, data and equipment and materials. But the bottom line is that you're paid for the output. You can work from home. You can work on the beach. It doesn't matter. The employer just wants you to produce an output. And once you understand that, then you understand that it's not the number of hours that you spend at the office or that you spend at home if you're remote working. It's really what is your output. What is the quantity and the quality of your output? And if you're faster, better, and cheaper when you produce this output, then you're going to win. And the people who learn to use AI in order to be faster, better, cheaper, they're going to earn so much money. It's just insane that people have not learned from their government, from their teachers, from their schools, from their colleges, how to use AI. I used to teach at a college, and it's sad, but the college where I'm teaching, they're not teaching students about AI, and yet it's the biggest thing ever. And anyways, so you have to learn how to program and leverage the awesome power of computers. And this is something that parents have to take into their own hands, because I tell parents, don't expect your children's teachers and their schools to teach about programming, because somehow, people think of programming or computer science as something that's very specialized and it's for nerds or for computer people. But it's not like that these days. If you don't understand how computers work, if you don't understand what a Turing machine is, there's no way you can compete in the new AI driven economy. There's no way you can compete. So the way that I help people, and I've been doing this for a while, the way that I help people to learn about computer programming is that I teach them the basics of AutoHotkey, which is a script programming language. It's not a full-fledged programming language like Python, but it's going to teach you enough in a very simple, a very interactive way. It's very engaging, so that once you learn the basics of AutoHotkey and you learn computational thinking, we're going to talk more about computational thinking later, that it's not going to be so hard to learn Python or Ruby or other more sophisticated programming languages. So everyone has the potential to be empowered, but if and only if they leverage computer software and artificial intelligence. So the way I look at it is that we are facing an opportunity, a huge opportunity, a historical opportunity to upgrade ourselves economically. So the workers, meaning the manual workers, the people who work with their hands, will have a chance to become professionals because they will be empowered by expert systems, right? So they can use a tablet or smartphone, and the expert system or the AI on the smartphone will help them to make decisions. So because they will make a lot of decisions really fast, very precise, they will become professional. So their earnings will increase dramatically. So for example, if you're, let's say, a technician, usually technicians would rely on knowledge in their heads, but now with a smartphone and with a tablet or computer, a laptop, they can have access to a lot of knowledge and data, and therefore their decisions will be of much higher quality, and therefore they will become professionals. The professionals the knowledge workers who usually work in offices, they can become companies because they will use expert systems and AI to enhance their own professional intelligence. And this is what we call intelligence augmentation. We're going to talk more about that. But they can become companies because they're going to be 10 times more productive. They can serve 10 times or 100 times more clients using AI. And therefore, they can set up their own companies. Usually, it's an online company. So professionals who used to work in an office and who used to serve only one employer will be able to serve multiple employers. And therefore, that means they can become companies because the value that they will create will not just come from them, it will come from artificial intelligence systems that they will supervise. Meanwhile, the companies can become as powerful as nation states. Well, except that they won't have armies, they won't have like, the monopoly on violence, but they will become as powerful as nation states. So this is, we already see this with companies like Facebook and Google. They're already as powerful as nation states, but more and more companies will have the reach and the power of many small nation states. So how do you protect your career against the massive disruption that AI is going to bring? Well, if you're not currently worried, you should worry because you're really, really behind. I don't want to, make people panic, but I've been saying this for the last 5 years, and it seems that people don't really take their career seriously. Of course, they do take their career seriously, but they just don't understand what is going on. And when you read the news about AI, you only hear about the existential threat and all the sensationalistic stuff about AI, like a self-driving car, but none of those news items have anything to do with your career, with your livelihood. And and that's why I'm creating this AI keynote. I want people to understand that the only thing that matters when it comes to your family and your future and your financial security, the only question is, how are you going to make money or more money from AI? That's it. If anyone comes to you and talks about this AI breakthrough or that AI breakthrough, you just have to say, I don't care. Tell me how I can use AI to make more money and survive economically, financially. You should have that kind of laser focus. Otherwise, you don't, you're not protecting your own financial interests and the well-being of your children. If you worry and if you do something about it now, then you probably won't have to worry in the future. The point is that nobody's job is safe. Nobody's business is safe. So you have to really, get on with the program. And like I said here, it's just business. It's the way that the world and the economy, that's how it's going to work. It has nothing to do with you. So you have to leave your ego aside and just tell yourself, okay, everything has changed now because of AI, and especially because of ChatGPT, which came around November 2022, last year. It's almost a year now. Everything has changed. Everything has changed. So you have to re-examine your assumptions. You have to re-examine your premises and really question the logic of your career. Because like I said before, people used to think about their career, even if they have a knowledge job in an office and they're paid like close to six figures. They used to think that, I'm going to put 40 hours in a week and I'm going to get paid. But guess what? That's not the calculus anymore. The calculus, I just want to go back to that slide and emphasize that point. It's not about input. It's not about the number of hours that you put at the office. It's not even about putting your body into the office, as we've seen during the pandemic due to COVID-19. It's only about the output. If you can produce output and the employer is satisfied with your output, whether it takes you 40 hours or 4 hours because you're using AI, the employer doesn't care. He's going to pay you the same, based on your output. So you really have to learn how to use computers and software and AI to maximize your output. That has to be your new focus. The new career is not about being paid per hour. You have to forget about, being paid per hour. The people who focus on or who are asking the government or their employer to increase their minimum wage, I find that silly. It's the minimum wage is based on your hourly. It's based on hours, right? But the new economy, it's not about how many hours you put in. It's about what is the output that you generate. And once you focus on the output, once you have this laser focus on maximizing your output, then you will truly understand, how the new economy works and how you're going to get paid. You're going to get paid more if you produce more, and that's it. And by the way, I just want to say that these days people spend too much time consuming content on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. It's just a waste of your time. You should spend more time producing and creating content as opposed to consuming content. So anyways, I'm going to talk more in a future video about the difference between creating content versus consuming content. So here I have the Plato framework. It's a little bit too theoretical, so I just want to focus on the main thing I want you to understand in this keynote. And basically, there's going to be two types of successful people, and I separate them into two buildings. The first building is where people focus on IA, or which stands for intelligence augmentation. So if you're here, then you would be a professional manager, freelancer, and entrepreneur who has learned how to augment his intelligence. And at the time, I did not foresee the invention of ChatGPT, but already theoretically, I surmised that there would be some kind of AI system that would enhance, that would augment the intelligence of professionals. And now that we have ChatGPT, I am proven correct. ChatGPT is going to augment your intelligence. So most likely, you and I are going to work in building number one. We're going to be very successful in building number one because we're going to use ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is just one generative AI out of many. You have Claude, you have Bard, etc. And many more such AIs will come. So this is where we're going to be working. In building number two, it's more elite. This is where the PhD people, the computer programmers, data scientists, AI engineers, this is where they're going to be working. They're going to be focused on machine learning. And in building number one, we're going to focus more on intelligence augmentation. So these are two separate buildings. It's very unlikely that someone from building one is going to go to building number two, because building number two is, the people in there, they're super smart. They have degrees in statistics. They have PhD degrees in mathematics. They're very peculiar kind of people, and it's not for me. It's probably not for you. So the only way we're going to survive is how we're going to augment our professional intelligence to be 10 times more productive. So here I talk about building number two, where big tech companies like Facebook, Tencent, Google, etc., they're going to focus on artificial narrow intelligence, and then artificial strategic intelligence, and AGI, which is probably going to come before 2030. So this is artificial general intelligence. It's like a human intelligence in a sense that it's going to be able to learn everything on its own, and it's going to be a different ball game radically. So in building number one, where we're going to focus, you want to have a path to intelligence augmentation, because intelligence augmentation, it's a little bit like Tony Stark, whose intelligence is augmented by Jarvis, his personal AI assistant. But you got to start at the bottom. So at the bottom, we have knowledge, and this is where students are taking courses in a classroom or online. And teachers also, who tend to be academics, right? They're not practicing, they're just sharing knowledge. So here, that's the first level. You have to value knowledge, and you have to understand that knowledge is really the capacity for effective action. So whatever you find on Wikipedia, that's not knowledge, that's information. Knowledge is more like a recipe or a procedure. Knowledge is best defined by David Deutsch, the Israeli physicist, who says that knowledge is like a constructor. It allows you to transform something into something else. So you have to understand knowledge in that manner. Information is abundant, but it's not valuable. Knowledge allows you to transform materials or information from one form into another form that is of higher value. So we have to understand knowledge in that manner. And then once you have acquired the knowledge, then you can practice and you can apply and implement that knowledge. And this is where we have the second level, or intelligence. And these are professionals who are applying the knowledge in real life situations. The third level is where you have expert systems. So the intelligence of professionals here is inside of the expert systems. And anyone can query those systems. And finally, you have intelligence augmentation. So I'm going to take a break here, but I'm going to come back with the second part of this presentation